Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Edna and Harvey, the Breakout. And when last we left off, we need to go back into the asylum. I know, we spent so long trying to get out of the asylum, and now we're just gonna waltz back in? But you don't understand, it's an emergency. We don't have the paper cup anymore. We lost it when we put it down by the wall, and we need another one. We can't leave without our buddy paper cup, and nothing is going to stop Edna from being reunited with our indispensable inventory companion. Okay, two things are probably going to stop us. The fact that the laundry lift system isn't working anymore, and Dr. Marcel's driver. He's blocking the only way we have left of getting back upstairs. But I think I know of a way to distract him, and that involves his livelihood. Driving Dr. Marcel around in this sedan. We're going to mess with the sedan. Let's see what we can interact with here. We can interact with the sedan itself, the spare tire specifically, both of the headlights, which is a curious thing to look at, and the sign. Let's start by interacting with the car itself.
Nice ride.
It won't be when we're done with it, I imagine. We're probably going to cause sufficient amounts of mayhem that it will be a smoking husk of a vehicle when we're done with it. Which is a shame, because it does look like a very old and expensive car.
You were the prize stallion of an unworthy rider.
There are a lot of seats in there. How many people are typically driven around in it? But we shouldn't focus on that. We should focus on trying to mess with it. First, by seeing if we can get in. We may need something from the glove compartment, if there is one.
Uh-oh.
Run!
Who was that?
Aha! That distracted the driver, and we need to quickly move as the driver would be quite likely to see us there. We were still in open view. Let's quickly go back in and see if he has returned back to the main area here. No, he hasn't. He's still checking out the sedan, which means we can go upstairs, and Bruce Broker is not here anymore. I imagine he was called to lunch, as was everyone else here. But maybe a few people managed to avoid the summons. We'll have to check that place out later. For now, we must do what we risked so much to achieve, including getting spotted by all the people searching for us. Getting another precious, precious cup.
This one is as soaked and filthy as the last one. And I bet it's just as useless, too.
Oh, paper cup, never leave my inventory again. Oh, that's just wishful thinking, isn't it? Something is going to separate you from that inventory. Be it being placed down somewhere or being destroyed by another item. It's just inevitable, but that doesn't mean I won't fight it. And I'm curious about something. Now that we've gone upstairs and then come back down, has the driver returned?
Uh-oh. There's Dr.
Oh?
I better find another.
Yes, the driver has. We only get one opportunity to head back upstairs, which means we need to cause another distraction. But first, we're going to go and check out the garage and see if there's anything we can get here. And it looks like there are two things in open view. Jumper cables and a wrench. Ooh, there's also some cans of paint. Maybe we can do something with the paint. But first, let's check out this vehicle. This looks like an escape vehicle if ever I've seen one. One that's missing a wheel. And we know of a spare tire not far away. But first, let's see if we can actually get into the vehicle itself by checking out the window.
It's open a crack.
Ooh, that's handy. And I think I know something that we can use to get in and open the door. But let's try everything else first.
Hello? Anybody in there? No reaction.
No reaction at all. So we'll take that as there's definitely someone in there, but they're just shy.
I can't reach through the crack with my hand.
Darn it, we're gonna have to try something else, like picking up the window.
If only it was that easy.
Oh, I'm sure it is sometimes. Some windows rattle so much that you think that you could just move them with sheer force of will alone. Harvey?
Harvey, get the car.
How can I, Miss Daisy? It's locked!
I see what you did there, game. Very clever. It's polo mallet time. This will get rid of the window for sure.
I will smash this door. I will.
Don't do it! There's always a more complicated way.
You're right.
That there is, Harvey, and normally in these kind of games, we have to try the more complicated way.
Yeah, I'll just draw a handle on it.
Don't you think it's a little cheap breaking the laws of physics just like that?
Oh, yes, you're right.
Cheap? Yes. Fun? Also yes.
In principle, the Honkmobile has an auto-locking feature. Handy Boy just needs to change the fuse first.
Is that ever going to happen? Find out in issue 4. That'll never be released.
Yes, when this piece of cloth hits the door, maybe it will transfer its flimsy nature into the metal.
Yeah, and then we can simply unfold the door.
Nothing. We should give this plan a little more time before it reaches fruition.
How much time? I was thinking till the heat death of the universe. That might be sufficient. We're gonna have to find another way.
Let's detail the car with mustard.
Oh yeah! Let's make ourselves a school bus?
Nah.
Yeah, let's not do that. What about the ketchup?
Let's detail the car with ketchup.
Oh yeah! Let's make ourselves a Ferrari out of this rust bucket.
Are you mad? I'm not such a snob.
I doubt it would be able to go fast enough. Let us arrest the window.
Open the door! It's the police! No reaction.
This door is not afraid of the law. It is very brave. What about the signature?
I can't bring myself to disfigure the car door like this.
Understandable. What about just signatures in general?
This isn't a signature series model, I'm afraid.
They should name the next one after us.
An excellent idea. I wonder what kind of vehicle that would be. Old key?
This is not a car key.
Maybe the master key will work. It probably won't.
I once saw an Irishman who ate a car. Do I look like an Irishman?
Don't eat the car. In fact, general lesson for life. Do not try and eat cars. It doesn't end well.
In reality, this knife has a soft inner core. It just pretends to be hard as steel.
Where's the Swiss Army when you need it?
Not here, Harvey. Not here. Barkeeper signature?
XXX? That sounds more like a name for a motorcycle.
That it does, and unfortunately, there will be no awesome motorcycle escape for us. We are not going to be vaulting over the walls and then riding off to freedom while pulling a wheelie. I can imagine Harvey being responsible for the wheelie.
Why don't we just call AAA?
Good idea. I think the phone number is in the car.
What? Dang.
Foiled again! Darn. Menu?
Casually, Double O Harvey grabbed his martini, shaken, not stirred, and nonchalantly opened the car door with the olive pick.
We don't have an olive pick, so we can't try that.
If only I had finger wrestled more in grammar school. Then I could apply the force of hydraulic snips. I'd cut through this metal like a knife through butter.
I think you overestimate the strength that you could employ using pinking shears, and you underestimate the strength of that metal. But hey, if it works, but it didn't.
I don't think this door is impressed by formalities.
Alas, it will not open out of sheer awestruckness. The master key will surely work, right? It is the master key, after all.
This is not a car key.
Oh, the master key is proving to be more disappointing by the moment. To be fair, it was very disappointing when we saw 2 bins full of them.
No, really. I don't want to eat the car door. Only Irishmen do such things. I'm not Irish.
I have never heard of what you're describing, Edna. I think you're making that up. And I think we are going to avoid using coat hanger number 2 for obvious reasons. We are also going to save before we try using either the paper cup or the cocktail glass, as we may lose both of them. And we do not want to lose either of them. We spent a lot of effort trying to get that paper cup back. We don't want to lose it right away. Right, first, cocktail glass.
If I can find the right resonant frequency, the window glass will simply shutter.
Stop it! That's the same resonant frequency as my glass eye!
Wait, you have a glass eye? What frequency is it that makes it resonate such? You're not going to tell us, are you?
No. The straw isn't made from indestructibillion.
Isn't it? I've been lied to all this time. Rake?
Why doesn't anybody make car doors out of rakes?
The question everyone is asking. Now, the toenail.
If only I were a dinosaur. If I were, my toenail would be big enough to rip through the door easily.
You'd also be able to easily escape the asylum because you'd be a dinosaur. I don't think we'd be here wondering about how to open up the car. Finally, paper cup.
I have a plan. Let's clean the windshield and get such a big tip that we can take the bus.
Ka-ching!
That is a brilliant plan. Unfortunately, it's not actually going to get us out of here. Let's see what happens if we use the polo mallet with the car door as opposed to the window.
I will smash this door. I will.
Don't do it!
You're right.
Okay, that's the same, but what about the comic book?
In principle, the honkmobile handy boy.
That's the same, alright. Let us look at the items on the floor now. The jumper cable and the wrench. We could try and use them to open the door after all.
The means of jolting out of lethargy.
Can we talk to them?
Can we get started now?
Sure.
When they have power.
Okay. With what?
That's a good question. With our inventory. They're ours now. And now let us look at the wrench. Ever useful, ever dependable, slightly crooked.
This looks useful.
That it does! We only start getting really useful items a lot later into the game, such is the nature of point-and-click adventure games. And thus, you have seen the first instance of wrench language in a game. You are honoured to see this.
Okay. With what?
Once again, with our inventory. Let us now use items with the jumper cables and the wrench, starting with Harvey on the jumper cable.
I'd rather not. Harvey is wired enough as it is.
Haggity googity muggity.
We've heard that one before, but what about the polo mallet?
The mallet works completely without electricity.
Not even batteries. How primitive.
It's still the perfect weapon.
That it is, at least for Edna. What about the pen? Let's make these ours.
I should mark the poles. But which is which? Doesn't matter. 50-50 are better odds than roulette.
Indeed. Now you've marked them. Hopefully correctly.
In this panel, the honkmobile had a breakdown. Captain Useless has Handy Boy pushing.
Either Handy Boy is exceptionally strong, or the honkmobile is exceptionally flimsily light. Let's hope it's not the latter.
In this panel,
That was the wrong interaction. I actually wanted to use the pot holders with the jumper cable, and instinctively, I used the comic book with the pot holders. We've heard that one before, that's for sure.
it's alive. I have created life. Get up and walk, Pot Holdenstein.
It's just a pot holder with a jumper cable, Edna.
But it's moving.
You're moving it with your hands.
But it is Pot Holdenstein now.
Fine, it's Pot Holdenstein now.
Yay, Pot Holdenstein! Wait, the name hasn't changed. I've been lied to. Darn it.
Better than mustard. Energy mustard.
It provides you with even more energy so that you can get on with your day.
Better than ketchup. Energy ketchup.
Use them together to get super energy.
The jumper cable hasn't committed any crimes. Yet. But I'll keep it under surveillance.
That you should. Now, jumper cables with cornflakes.
The most important things are electrolytes.
Just remember, electrolytes are in all kinds of things that you eat. You don't need to specifically eat something with loads of electrolytes, as they're pretty much everywhere.
I'll put Dr. Marcel's signature on the negative pole.
Fair enough. Now, general signature with jumper cable.
Nope. No signature on the jumper cable.
Which means that we can claim them now.
Nope. No current in this key.
Alas, we cannot use it to unlock electronically locked doors.
This jumper cable can jumpstart things. But do I really want a jumping fork?
Of course you want a jumping fork. Then it can jump over things and everyone can be amazed. That'd be a suitable distraction for the driver.
I'd rather leave the cable intact. I have a creeping suspicion that it will play a major part in our escape later on.
Oh, I have that suspicion too, but hey, might as well mess with it while I can.
I'll put the barkeeper's signature on the positive pole.
Do you really want to do that? He did, after all, give you some stinky drink.
Hey, you could use the cable to fix the phone.
What exactly makes you think that?
Well...
Just admit it. You've fallen victim to the so-called inherent logic of adventure games.
That he has. There is no logic in fixing the phone with the jumper cable. But you thought it might work because there's a cable. Do not fall victim to that. Many an adventure game character has died because you seek to employ the inherent logic of adventure games.
Electricity is not on the menu. But the stinky drink sure does taste like battery acid. I doubt that it would be enough to run a car on, though.
Clearly you need to get all of the stinky drink and give it a try. What's that? You don't want to because you think all that stinky drink will destroy the entire atmosphere of the world? It probably would. You're quite right. Let's move on to examining the jumper cable with the pinking shears.
Whew. No, I can't do it. The cable's too thick to cut.
But you tried, and that's the important thing.
I didn't get much energy out of group therapy. The electric shocks were quite a different thing in this respect.
Let us move on to examining the master key with the jumper cable.
Nope, no current in this key.
So it can't unlock a car door, and it doesn't have any current. What good are you?
Conductive, constructive, and conducive. Still not a good idea.
And it ended without alliteration. Alas.
Deal. When the car is finally fixed, I'll find a clothes rail.
Excellent. What about with the cocktail glass?
The stinky drink did resemble battery acid, but it's empty now.
I get the feeling the game wants us to find something to charge the car engine with, because it keeps mentioning that we need to find charge.
The new electric straw, now with reverse gear.
Why does it need reverse gear? Do I even need to ask? Or is that not important?
Toenails, the often overlooked energy storage units of the body. I doubt they could challenge a car battery, though.
What if you got enough of them, Edna? Then you could.
There are fine distinctions between a rake and a car battery. You don't have to be a gardening auto mechanic to see them.
But it certainly does help. Let's use the jumper cable with the wrench.
The wrench works perfectly well without electricity. It's one of those energy-saving, kinetically driven wrenches.
How environmentally friendly. And before I use the paper cup with the jumper cable, that's right, we are going to save, because I get the feeling that the jumper cables are going to rip that thing to pieces, and we don't want that. I also get the feeling we're probably going to discard the paper cup with those cans of paint. Maybe we can take the cans of paint. We'll find that out soon enough.
I don't need an energy drink.
No, you don't. Now let us look at the wrench.
The screw is exactly as loose as it should be.
And it's pretty loose, if you know what I mean.
Let us move on to examining, and not moving Edna too close to the screen, the wrench with the polo mallet.
The mallet isn't screwed, it's glued.
That it is. Pen?
It's a ballpoint pen, not a bolted pen.
But we could still doodle on it.
In this panel, Captain Useless gets a new superpower. He can loosen screws clockwise, too.
Whoa! That makes him even better than Superman, right? Okay, at least on par with Batman.
The detachable pot holder is yet to be invented, just like the heated Allen wrench.
We could invent one of those. Would it be useful? Probably not, but that doesn't mean we couldn't invent it.
This bottle doesn't have a screw-on cap.
How do they keep filling it up then?
It's not a bottle with a screw-on cap.
The mysteries of those ketchup and mustard containers will never be solved.
There are times when you gotta chuck a monkey wrench in the big old crime machine. And this time even has a name. I'll call it Later.
Ah, later. There have been many stories written about later. This is not one of them.
The $64,000 question. What do cornflakes and a wrench have in common?
The fact that they don't have anything in common?
Right! We have a winner!
This answer can be applied to just about any question, it seems. It's like with the E in Wheel of Fortune.
It is an extremely important letter in Wheel of Fortune. That's why you have to buy it. Now let us move on to the signature.
Whoa! My forging ability tilts 2 degrees to the left.
Realign!
We have realigned. Everything is okay now.
Whoa! My forging ability tilts...
Realign!
Now, is that a sound effect that you'll only ever hear by using the signatures on the wrench? Probably.
Hey! Now that's interesting.
What?
There's some kind of twist to working both of these.
I'll be fadoodled.
And thus you were fadoodled.
Strange. There aren't any screws visible on this fork. How can I open it when the batteries are flat?
It doesn't need any batteries, Edna. It's another one of those kinetically driven tools.
If I had a Swiss Army knife, I'd have all the functions in one.
But if you only had one item, what would you...
We've already had that one. Let's move on to this signature.
Whoa.
Real...
And the third and final instance of that sound, no doubt.
I can't seem to fix the phone no matter what I do.
Maybe we are never destined to fix it.
The wrench is not on the menu. I got one nonetheless.
The world is a raffle, and you never draw a blank.
That would be handy, though people will quickly start suspecting that you're cheating at raffles.
No chance. The scissors will lose their teeth on that.
That's not surprising, the wrench is quite bulky.
People say physical training is good for the psyche. Strange that it's always people sitting in comfy armchairs who say that.
But maybe they're not always sitting in comfy armchairs. Okay, can we turn the wrench into a super wrench by using the master key to unlock its potential?
Hey, now that's interesting.
What?
There's some kind of...
I'll be fadoodled.
No. The master key continues to disappoint.
I can't even detach the handles.
It's a crying shame.
Now, don't you exaggerate now. It's just that...
No. It's a catastrophe. Armageddon.
Are you getting worked up, Harvey? You really shouldn't be.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I once had a coat hanger like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Also, I'm afraid to do this interaction.
Too bad. No screws. I would have loved to see the technology on the inside.
You'll be very disappointed in the technology of a straw, let me tell you.
I prefer a homegrown screwdriver.
Like the toenail.
It's a good thing I tightened the nut. It was all loose. I don't even want to think about what could have happened.
Calamity indeed, and a fourth instance of that sound effect. Now I'm going to save before we combine the items together that will surely be destroyed by the wrench. The wrench is heavy, the wrench is unyielding, and the cocktail glass is brittle, and the paper cup is the paper cup. Let's see what happens, shall we? First, cocktail glass.
Whoopsie-daisy. I guess the speech is cancelled.
That's not surprising. Now what about the paper cup?
Let's see if I can unscrew the useless water cup. Whoopsie-daisy. I've ruined it. I wonder if I should go and get another one.
We both know how pointless that would be. Then again, you can never be too sure.
Indeed, you can never be too sure, and the joke's on both of you. I can load the game and get them back. And so, when we come back, folks, we will have the cocktail glass and the paper cup once more as we examine the cans of paint, and then go about opening this door. And maybe getting a tire so that we can fix this vehicle. This looks like it's going to be our way out of the asylum, provided we can get the keymaster here to drive it. And maybe a few more people to help. I imagine a few other people would want to get out of the asylum. It's just a matter of finding out who. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.